Happy Father's Day, everyone. I hope you're having a good day. But if you're a NASCAR fan, this week has been a slow one. Because it's the only off week until the off season. That's where I come in. As the Fox portion of the season has ended, meaning that NBC will be taking over starting with Nashville next weekend. So I said to myself, you know what? Let's do a halfway review of the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season. This will be very similar to my 2022 NASCAR review video, just shorter because I'm not going to have as much to talk about. I'm also not going to do full race recaps in this video because that would make this video way too long. Except the fact that I'm writing this introduction paragraph before the Cup race at Gateway, I don't have a whole lot of time. So let's get the show on the road. Now in the 2022 video, I didn't mention the Clash because of time constraints. But since I have a lot less to say, let's go ahead and talk about it. Last year, they moved the Clash to a paved track inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Yes. I am not making this up. It takes place inside the LA Coliseum. But actually, it went off without a hitch last year. But goddamn, the same cannot be said for this year. Because they thought it would be a great idea to increase the field size from 23, which in my honest opinion was already pushing it, to 27. Now that wouldn't be a problem if the track wasn't a quarter mile long. But to add insult to injury, they decided not to count caution laps. And my goodness, did this come back to bite them. What you're seeing right now is the 16th caution we had in this race. That's right, we had 16 cautions. And this race took an hour and 43 minutes to conclude, which is much longer than last year's, which took only 57 minutes. And guess what? They didn't count caution laps either last year. And that's not even including the halftime show. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. There's also a halftime show. I don't remember how much both of them lasted though, because I tuned out. No pun intended. But yeah, the 2023 Clash is kind of a bit of a disaster. And I hope that this never becomes a points race with a full 36 car field. But I'll get to that later. For now, let's get back to the Great American Race. The 2023 Daytona 500 was everything last year wasn't. Basically what I'm trying to say is that this was the best Daytona 500 since 2019. Yeah, honestly, if you ask me, the Daytona 500s haven't been great races in the last few years. Since about 2020. Now, I wouldn't call them bad, except for the 2021 500. But nothing spectacular. But trust me when I say that this race put the great back into the American race. Now, it wasn't a wreck fest, but it also wasn't a single file train race. It was the perfect middle ground. Side-by-side action, comers and goers, many different leaders, and fucking Travis Pastrana and Jimmy Johnson. Seriously, what more could you ask for in a race? Now, admittedly, the ending gets a little too chaotic. Long story short, this race ended up being the longest Daytona 500 in history, clocking in at 212 laps thanks to a double overtime. One of which was caused by the big one. And this race did end under caution, with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. winning the Daytona 500. So yeah, I love this race. Even though it got chaotic, and Jimmy was involved in a late race wreck. It was an amazing race for the first 188 laps. Next up is Auto Club. I'm going to make this segment short, but I'm bringing it up because this race will be the last time Auto Club will be ran in its current configuration. Because in case you didn't know, NASCAR is turning the speedway into a short track, downgrading it from its current 2-mile size. And before the race, it was actually confirmed that NASCAR has already sold most of the land the track sits on to a development company. So as much as you Auto Club fans want to see it stay at its current configuration, it's already too late. Personally, I don't care. Plus, this race is nothing really spectacular. Kyle Busch, after basically being thrown out of JGR in favor of his favorite team owner Joe Gibbs' magical grandson Gibby the Eighth Dwarf, won the race, his first with his new team RCR, and also it's confirmed that the Auto Club short track project won't be finished in time for the 2024 season, and it's currently unknown where the race will be held. I'm just hoping that and personally if you ask me, I'm just hoping that they don't put it at the LA Coliseum, because a 36-car field on that tiny-ass track would be a complete clusterfuck. And I guess that since I'm wrapping up this segment, Chase Elliott broke his fucking leg snowboarding a few days later. This gave Josh Berry, an Xfinity driver, some seat time. A few races go by without a whole lot happening. Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Atlanta didn't really give us much. I don't really have strong opinions on these races. Except for Phoenix. Because Harvick had that race won before a fucking talentless hack in the 21 known as Harrison Burton completely spun out on his fucking own. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to go on a little tangent here, but I fucking hate this prick, like in the 21. Man does nothing but spin out. That's the only fucking time you see that little piece of shit. It's when he's driving like a dumbass. And look at this dude. This fucker looks like he should be in high school. Like, look at him. He looks like a fucking Disney Channel sitcom star. And I have to go on another tangent. Apparently, this is the mindless rant, apparently. And it's basically the only one anyone's been talking about. The commercials. Like, Fox, I like your booth, but y'all have been shoving commercials down our throats as if we're giving y'all blowjobs. Seriously, this is the average Fox NASCAR broadcast.
See if they're able to make quick time of them when they catch them. Oh,
okay, not really, but that's how it felt like. It was so bad that some weeks, such as the Daytona 500, the commercials were basically the only thing people talked about. Not to mention Mike Joy bringing up the keyboard warriors. Like, Joy, I like you, but for the love of God, please don't ever do that again. And hopefully NBC is not that bad. But then again, Rick Allen is always better. And while I'm here, I have to mention the fucking penalties. Before qualifying at Phoenix, Lou's on all 400 cars, and the number 31 Harley Grayson car were confiscated because NASCAR suspected they were illegally modified. After a full race investigation, NASCAR issued the penalty.
Number 5, 9, 24, and 48 teams were each docked 100 owner points. Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, and William Byron were also docked 100 driver points. Chase Elliott, because he did not race this last weekend, avoids the driver penalty. Each car was also docked 10 playoff points each. All 4 crew chiefs, that's Cliff Daniels, Alan Gustafson, Rudy Fugle, Blake Harris, have been suspended for the next 4 races, and each team was fined $100,000. Combined, that's a $400,000 penalty for Hendrick Motorsports, the largest single fine issued to a team in NASCAR history.
Justin Haley got the same penalty. And both teams appealed the penalty, and I am not even joking. What happens next is pure fucking stupidity. The National Motorsports Appeals Board, or whatever the hell they're called, found Hendrick Motorsports guilty, but gave back all their points. The total $400,000 fine stayed, and so did the crew chief suspension. But they basically won. When Colleague Racing went to their appeal, this is what they got.
Motorsports Appeals Panel decided to largely uphold the massive L2 penalty NASCAR handed Kaulig Racing.
When I say everyone was pissed off after this, I mean it. And it makes perfect fucking sense. If Kaulig got the same penalty for the same part, why didn't they get the same treatment? Now, they did do a final appeal, which actually got them all their points back, but the damage was done. The appeals panel was exposed for nothing but pure favoritism. And what's funny is that a week after Hendrick HMS won the appeal, two of their 4 cars got another penalty and were docked 60 points each. If I'm being perfectly honest, a part of me wants to say that NASCAR made a fake penalty just to get back at HMS because that just sounds funny as hell. Oh, but the penalties, oh boy, they do not stop there, my friends. If anything, they're just fucking beginning.
Number 3, Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, back to the R&D Center after Martinsville and found illegal underwing mounting and assembly hardware. As a result, NASCAR has docked Austin Dillon 60 driver, 60 owner points, as well as 5 playoff points. Crew Chief Keith Rodden has been suspended 2 races and fined $75,000. I kind of forgot that Keith Rodden was back in the NASCAR. Chase Briscoe's race team was smacked with an L3 penalty after NASCAR discovered a counterfeit next-gen part on their race car at the R&D Center this week. As a result, Chase Briscoe was docked 120 driver points. The team was docked 120 owner points, 25 playoff points as well. Crew Chief Johnny Klausmeyer was suspended 6 races and fined $250,000, $250K. These this week, this time it's Legacy Motor Club and Eric Jones on the receiving end. The 43 team was issued an L1 penalty, that's a deduction of 60 driver and owner points, 5 playoff points, a $75,000 fine, and a 2-race suspension for crew chief Dave Ellens. The team was...
Now, if you want my opinion on this shit, I feel like the teams are asking because they want more money from, like, the TV deal that's coming up very soon. They want a bigger piece of that pie. If I was NASCAR, I would tell them, maybe if you stopped cheating, you wouldn't be needing more money. Like, seriously, this shit is so fucking dumb. There has been so many fucking penalties this year. Like, you guys are literally wasting money because you guys are trying to cheat, even though NASCAR has stated time and time again since they fucking introduced this damn car that they're not lenient on this shit anymore. Like, I just want to watch racing. I mean, I want just to see the best cars on track go at each other. Not, oh my god, I wonder who's going to get busted this week. Literally, as of right now, I'm recording this on the Tuesday after the Sonoma race, and I am just waiting to see who got busted this time. But anyway, let's move on. Anyways, COTA was an important race, as many drivers from different disciplines of racing joined the action. Jordan Taylor from IMSA, Jenson Button and Kimi Räikkönen from F1, Connor Daly from IndyCar, and Jimmy Johnson coming back for another go. It was a bit of a disaster. Now it's important to know that NASCAR got rid of the stage breaks for all the road courses this year. Now while that was a blessing because, in my personal opinion, stage cautions badly hurt the road courses, and the race for the most part was pretty tame. Until we had a caution of about 10 to go, and then all hell broke loose. We had 3 overtimes. This race was supposed to be only 68 laps because COTA is already fucking enormous. But instead we had fucking 75 laps, and I don't even know how long this race went on for. Now you might be wondering, why the hell did this race take so long? Simply, the drivers lost their damn minds.
Everybody's right there.
We're in line here. Still in line.
All right.
Still.
Stay. Cut it. Wide. Push under him. He's going to be okay. Williams way wide.
Tyler's got the right line.
And Kyle Busch is right there.
Greg's in around, several cars around in the back.
How about
Back to green.
Gotta stay in line at the start-finish line. Here we go.
Big push from the inside.
McDowell sends it on the outside.
Huge dive. They're in
Car didn't
Reddick
turn
underneath of him.
Around goes Truex.
He's not clear just yet.
Look at Chastain.
Literally so much chaos. Austin Dillon went from being a top 5 contender to being taken out in a wreck on a restart. Multi-car crashes ensued. Hell, Ross Chastain drove through Alex Bowman, which inadvertently spun out Chastain's own fucking teammate. It was so bad that it led to the debate about NASCAR. And that drivers race with no respect. And they're not wrong. While some guys do, most of them just fucking drive in way too over their heads. Like, it gets pretty bad at times. And boy howdy, does one particular person straight up not care about respect. But we'll get back to that later. Now, at Richmond, Kyle Larson won. But this one's actually a bit of a special win. Why? We'll take a listen.
Particular attention to the paint job on Kyle Larson's car. And I'm sorry, this chokes me up. That was Ricky Hendrick's paint scheme when he raced in NASCAR, of the late son of car owner Rick Hendrick. Today would have been Ricky Hendrick's birthday.
Now, if you're wondering who Ricky Hendrick is, he was the late son of HMS owner Rick Hendrick. He had a short racing career, but he did carry the paint scheme that Larson now races with basically every week. Ricky looked poised to take over HMS until he and 9 other people were tragically killed in an airplane crash heading from Martinsville. It was a massive blow to HMS and most likely negatively affected Rick himself. So to see Larson bring Ricky's old paint scheme to victory lane, or it would have been Ricky's 43rd birthday, it was something special. That's all I have to say on that. Then Bristol Dirt, where Jonathan Davenport, one of the greatest dirt racers of all time, raced in this race. And he also criticized the sport, just to let you know. Then Martinsville, Larson wins another after SHR blew themselves up. And now, Talladega. This race is a weird one. On one hand, it was very similar to the 500. Very, very competitive, main lead changes, some wrecks, and comers and goers. But on the other hand, it was extremely tame for Talladega. Tame racing, it works well for Daytona because you can barely go 3 wide there. But here, in this race, that third lane was never able to stick together. It would get together and it would get places. At one point even, it managed to get all the way to the lead. But it would never stay. It would always just fall apart eventually. And even though there were a lot of lead changes, 57 to be exact, that middle lane would never be able to fully complete the pass. And just like at Daytona, the race turned into a disaster in the end. It started with Joey Logano doing this. Just look at this. He's going... he just slows down so bad that he causes a giant crash. Jesus Christ, Logano, you've been... what happened to you this year? And then on the first overtime... hang on. You can see Noah Gragson is leading the high lane, leading the top lane, and then Chastain, let's just wait for it, as you can see, there, there, right there, he tries to force it 3 wide, and it doesn't work. Gragson goes head on to the wall, Kyle Larson goes spinning into the grass, and then comes back up on the track. Larson comes back up to the track, and then gets plowed by the 41 of Ryan Preece. And what you're about to see is easily the hardest hit a next-gen car has ever taken.
This is Ryan Preece.
get there.
Try to get through it.
Well, don't forget. Oh, I told you that was a hard hit.
Not only was Priest's visor lifted by force, look at. This is Lawson's car. This is the right side of his car. It's destroyed. You can literally see the roll cage completely bent through that little window. And this literally is one of the scariest sights because a lot led to a lot of people feeling like, what if it hit driver's side? Chances are Lawson gets badly injured or even worse. But the chaos doesn't end there. Then, oh no, my friends. It's on the second overtime. We take the white flag. Ryan Blaney and Bob Wallace are batting for the lead. When he does this.
Next flag ends the race.
Oh, big push. Blaney turns him.
Around goes
Oh, into Keselowski. Around him. Oh, another hard shot. Allmendinger.
Bubba Wallace pulls off one of the latest blocks in NASCAR history and causes a giant wreck. And I don't care who you are or what position you're in, for the love of God, just don't even bother trying to make a late block. Because here's a little compilation of giant wrecks caused by late blocks.
back up. Keselowski with him. McDowell in tow. Dillon on the bottom.
The run's on top.
Whoa!
Teammates.
Around they go in a hard crash. Kyle Busch.
Kyle Larson.
How about Alex Bowman in the 88? He gets a shove. He's going to go sideways right in front of the pack. The 48 caught up, and the 9 is caught up. The caution has come out. Just waiting for whichever line. Huge push. And around goes a 2. Too big of a push. He caught the 41.
The big one.
Logano's caught up in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Denny Hamlin. Austin Dillon has Dan.
Seriously, it is not fucking worth it. It is not. You're always going to wreck. Anyways, at Dover, Montrix Jr., who come into this had never won with this new car. He won the race. But that's not what everyone was talking about. They were talking about this.
Austin Dillon.
Well, he was in the way, but you can't just get in the back of him and wreck him like that. He's lucky it didn't come up in front of him.
When I was talking about someone with literally no respect, this is who I was talking about earlier. Ross Chastain has literally pissed off so many people. Here's everyone that he's pissed off that comes to mind. Denny Hamlin at the Clash. Dale Schwartz at Coda. Brendan Poole at Dover. Noah Gragson at Kansas and possibly Talladega. Kyle Larson at Darlington and slightly Dover. And Mike McDowell just 2 weeks ago at Gateway. Now, he's literally coined the nickname The Wrecking Ball. And many people often joke that someone could stub their toe in a dark room and still blame it on Ross Chastain. And yeah, they're not wrong. And personally, if you want my opinion, it's a mix of things. On one hand, he definitely drives way too aggressively, like here at Dover and at Coda. And oftentimes, he drives in way over his head, examples being Darlington and Gateway. But at the same time, he gets blamed for everything and sometimes he doesn't deserve it. I.e., when Christopher Bell bashed him on live TV at Richmond despite not even doing anything. But yeah, it's my thoughts on the whole situation. Next up was Kansas, and I'm not even going to talk about this one because it was just perfect. I don't care who you are, this race was perfect. And I'm not even going to spoil it. I'm going to force you guys to watch Kansas. Anyway, skipping Darlington, because I didn't watch it, we go to the All-Star race. Now, in years past, it was at Texas. But after it was shown that Texas is still a garbage track, even with this new car, they moved it. And they moved it to the track Texas killed off way back in the mid-90s. Needs to even get it on the schedule. North Wilkesboro is one of NASCAR's founding tracks, as it held one of the very first NASCAR races ever in the first full season of competition back in 1949. But after nearly 50 years on the schedule, it was dropped in favor of Texas and a second day at New Hampshire. The track was left to rot for so damn long, people thought it was a lost cause. But a massive push from Dale Jr. and the Wilkes County community led the track to being brought back to life in 2022 to hold modified races. Then in September, it was confirmed that the track would rise from the dead completely and take away Texas All-Star race. It was the perfect scenario. As for the race itself, it was okay. The main event wasn't anything spectacular, and Lawson fucking schooled everyone, leading almost the entire damn race. Like, holy shit. But the Open was enjoyable, and that truck race was fucking phenomenal. Even if they don't come back for the All-Star race next year, please keep it on the truck schedule, please. Because I would personally definitely take North Wilkesboro over Texas any day of the week. Because unfortunately, Texas is the best state in the country, yet it has the second worst track on the Cup schedule. After the All-Star race, we have just 3 races until the switch to NBC. Next up was the Coke 600, which for the second year in a row put on an amazing show. And just like Kansas, I'm not going to spoil too much of it. Just go watch it. Yeah, sure, the race is 5 hours, but you can fucking handle it. But I am going to spoil this.
The inside of Chase gets loose. You see him lift out of the gas. The flames crowded Chase, got into him. But they saw some retaliation there.
Or did Keselowski get into the left rear corner of Elliott there?
So a quick backstory leading up to this moment. Denny Hamlin accidentally made contact with the Mickey Mouse driver himself, Chase Elliott. And you literally saw Hamlin lifting. That's what the fumes were. But Elliott, taking a page right out of Bo Wallace's book, decided that he found that offensive and fucking rear hooks Denny in the dogleg front stretch. And the best thing about it is that it was literally proven by Denny Hamlin that it was intentional for the statistics of Elliott at the time of the contact and at the time of the rear hook. And I'm going to say exactly what I said about the Bubba Wallace Las Vegas meltdown. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many wins you have. I don't care if you're one of the most popular drivers in the sport. I don't care. If rear hooking a guy is inexcusable. You are endangering yourself and other drivers because you're throwing a temper tantrum. And literally, the next week at Gateway, Noah Gragson suffered a fucking concussion in a wreck. This car is not fucking safe. It is not. And Chase Elliott later got suspended, and that's what he fucking deserves. He fucking deserved that suspension. Because that was just stupid. And I swear to God, if I see one more Mickey Elliott fan defending his actions, I'm actually probably going to jump off a bridge. But hey, the bright side of this is that Bubba Wallace... Wait a minute. I read that wrong. NASCAR, on the bright side is that NASCAR is basically trying to set a precedent. As Chase Elliott got the same punishment as Bubba Wallace. So, good on NASCAR. They set precedent that if you hook a guy, we don't fucking care how popular you are. You are not getting away scot-free. So good on you, NASCAR. Good on you. Anyways, Gateway was overall forgettable. I don't have a lot to say other than the fact that fucking Coil Joy filled in for the suspended Mickey driver. But I don't want to... He did not do much. And I don't want to lose faith in LaJoy because Lawson wasn't doing much better before pit strategy. Hoping get a top 5. Plus, let's be real, that 19 probably just decided not to even try that week. So, I haven't given up on you, LaJoy. And at the time I wrote this paragraph, Sonoma hasn't happened. Future me, put in some text in a Google Doc or whatever if something important happened. Anyway, that's going to conclude this video. The script was longer, but in the end the video wasn't. It's also kind of shocking if I'm being honest. If you made it this far into the video, congratulations. You win a free nothing. And honestly, if you ask me, I think the racing overall has been kind of underwhelming. Outside of Daytona 500, Richmond, Talladega, Kansas, and the Coke 600, the racing hasn't been anything special. We'll see what the second half brings us. Last year, the second half is where the season fell apart. But maybe this year it's the opposite. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And also, hopefully, NBC and aka also USA. But oh my god. That was stupid sentence. Hopefully NBC treats NASCAR better than Fox did. But then again, NBC can be pretty unpredictable, putting it lightly. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a great Father's Day, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I'll be Sweet Alex 7 out.